Laura here. So today's Digital Academy, we are going to talk about video. So we've gone through training in the past on different tactics, but what I really wanted to dive in today and talk through is the benefits of video and why it should be incorporated into your marketing campaigns. Whoops. Let's see here. Okay. All right, so one of the things that we've incorporated here is why video resonates with our customers. And if you think about kind of the lives that we're living in right now, we have gone from in-person meetings and training sessions and just having voice conference calls to being much more interactive. We are constantly on Teams meetings and Zoom meetings. And when you hear and you see someone, it resonates in a different way. So some of the capabilities that we now have really changed how we're able to interact with each other while we are in this forced work from home situation. Well, video marketing works the same way. It allows us to use a lot of different senses. We're seeing video, we're hearing what's going on, and being able to see and hear at the same time spurs a difference in us. It allows us to really demonstrate and show someone the tone that we're trying to get across, or the personality of a brand, humor, grief, desire. So all of those different attributes can be featured in video, and it really allows us on an advertising side to bring consumers into the emotion of the ad and allow them to imagine themselves into that particular product or doing business with somebody. So video is a fantastic way to really spark emotion with our clients' potential consumers. I actually reached out to someone that I met at a conference a few years ago. His name is Jason Show, and he is the CEO and co-founder of Animoto, along with being their chief video officer. And I asked him to send me a deck of some of the statistics that he had about video and conversion. And I thought this was really interesting when we talk about brand recall. With video, 6 times more information is recalled from people when they see a video than just reading text. So when you think about video and incorporating it into your campaigns, when you do, it really allows us to amplify the current campaigns that we already have running and the different marketing tactics that we've already incorporated into our campaigns. So if we're trying to really promote brand awareness with the customer and drive that recall so that people start to become familiar with certain products or become familiar with that brand, incorporating video is a powerful tactic to do so. And then video also gets 12 times more shares on social media than just a text share or when it's combined with an image. So as you think about customers that you're currently running social campaigns for, think about how are you incorporating video into those campaigns, whether it's a social management campaign or it's an ad campaign that we're running. What type of video tactics have you thought about with your customer? If you haven't gone in that direction yet, think about their current promotions or the state of their business or the messaging that they're trying to get out to consumers, and think, how could video potentially tell that story better than just a text ad or combined with an image or just a generic post on their social pages. And then this last one I love. So after watching a video, consumers are 64% more likely to make a purchase. So when you think about clients that we're working with and we're really trying to drive product sales, or potentially we're building them an e-commerce site that has specific products that we're talking about, or they have the ability to have purchases on their website, incorporating video not only is going to have great brand recall and potentially be able to be shared to others on social media, but it's also going to drive the purchasing behavior of consumers up more highly than if they just saw a digital display ad or maybe a paid search ad. Incorporating video is going to help complement those different tactics and really drive the purchases home. So one of the things that Jason also incorporated is types of videos that you can launch. So when we think about videos, sometimes our customers get stumped and they think, what should we really be talking about? What do we incorporate in a video? So I thought this was great. These are 12 examples of different videos that you could potentially think through with your clients. So are we trying to tease someone to get them to take an action and go to a web page such as a blog to learn more information? Are we doing a product demonstration or a how-to video? So I think about when Carolyn was working with Paul Mitchell, and promoting their schools. One of the things that we talked about is oftentimes females are getting online and they're looking at different hairdos. So how do I curl my hair a certain way? How do I take on this style? So how-to videos are a great way to engage with your consumer base where you're not exactly asking them to make an immediate purchase action, but you're trying to get them to incorporate themselves with your brand and with your business. So there's a lot of different ways that we can incorporate video into campaigns and into strategies. So as you're thinking about videos, don't just think we need to get a video ad up. What are we actually going to do within that ad? What is that messaging going to be about? And here are some great ideas that you can look at. The other thing that he shared is, video behaviors, they're going to vary across platforms. So a video on a website is going to look and feel very different than maybe a long form video that we're hosting on YouTube or a video that we're using on social media. So these are some examples of different social type videos. So whether you're doing a Q&A or a behind the scenes, or maybe you're launching a new collection, or you want somebody to take a poll and you're trying to get feedback from your consumer base, those videos look and feel are very different on a social channel than potentially a video that we're hosting somewhere else. So that's something to keep in mind, is your messaging isn't going to be consistent with video tactics. It's going to change. And it will change not only from the different tactics that you're using, but also the individual platforms. A video on Instagram looks and feels different than a video that you would post on, say, Facebook, for instance. So the messaging within those and the way consumers interact in those platforms look very different, and we have to take that into consideration as well. And then, of course, the device is going to matter. So where are we delivering these actual videos? So this is a study and some statistics that IBM released from 2019. And I absolutely love this. So the first part is 70% of people said that they use captions when streaming, and it's for multiple reasons. And you can see a few here. So is it more convenient to watch a video? Do you prefer to watch a video without sound? Or are you deaf or hard of hearing? So there's a lot of factors that could potentially take place. And this is something else we have to think about. Where are we showing that video, and what's the potential environment of the consumer who's seeing it? So for instance, if you're potentially in a waiting room and you're killing time while you're waiting for your appointment to take place, you may be scrolling through a social media newsfeed or even news articles, and you could potentially see a video. Well, if you don't have captioning, are you potentially excluding consumers who may want to watch that video, but they're not in a place where they can do so with sound? So it's really important when we're trying to get the messaging across and what a video is about to think through, is this a platform it's going to be served on where someone's going to have the time to listen to this video? Or if I incorporated subtitles or captioning within that video, could I potentially drive my views up higher and increase those rates? So when you think about captioning on videos, captioning and incorporating it, it's a little bit more time consuming on development. It can also be a little bit more of an investment at times. So the question comes up, is it actually worth it? Well, IBM says yes. So 66% of marketing professionals are now captioning their videos. And you can see here, we already talked about brand recall and how powerful that is for video. Well, you can increase that even more by adding captions. You can see here, captions improve brand recall within the first 6 seconds of a video. You get higher organic search traffic when you have captions on your videos. In fact, 135% more organic search traffic. And 80% are more likely to watch the video all the way through. I know that's how I am. If I start a video and I'm in a place or maybe I don't want sound, and actually I'm one of those individuals who just prefers to watch video without sound. That captioning allows me to really immerse myself through the whole video, get an understanding of what's going on, and it keeps my attention. It allows me to want to watch the video the entire way through because I'm not just watching the actions, I also get an understanding of the verbiage that's being relayed for somebody who's listening to the video. So when you're thinking about your tactics and when we're getting our videos developed, make sure you're asking yourself the question, does it make sense to also build this video in a format that has captioning on it? Am I going to serve this online in someone's newsfeed, or am I serving it on a TV commercial? That's going to make a difference, and we want to make sure that we're cognizant of how we're building these videos and what we're relaying in them. We have other capabilities as well. So our partners at LightSwitch are helping us develop a lot of these videos across the country. So for your video options, not only can you include videos and have videos that are produced for different platforms, and including captioning, but we also do videos with client interviews. We allow, or we have the option for professional voiceovers. We build custom videos with music. We also have aerial or drone footage videos that we shoot along with 360 virtual tours of businesses that are great for implementation into Google Maps. So as you think about updating listings, and if your client is a heavy search client of ours, where that is a tactic that is helping drive a lot of the business and engagement into the website, this is a great option as well. And then we also have custom montage videos that are available that are combinations of photos, voiceover, and music that we put together for our clients who are looking to dive into video, but maybe they want a little bit less expensive option. And then it's important for us to not only think about the platform where something is being delivered in the setting that someone's in, but what's the tactic that we're using? So is this pre-roll where someone decided that they wanted to watch a video, but we're now interrupting that ability for them to watch? We want them to see a commercial first. Well, what are we putting in that commercial? If we've now captured their attention and they're forced to watch this video, how long should it be? Do you really want to take a full 30-second option, or is 6 seconds, 15 seconds enough? So that way your video isn't getting skipped. That is something to think about when you're thinking through delivery and development of your video. TrueView and YouTube. So again, when we think about those 12 examples that Jason had given us, oftentimes YouTube, that is where people are going to search. So they're trying to understand product features, how to or do it yourself. They're looking for advice. Most of the time they're there because they were spurred on from a specific search. So it's not necessarily a demographic targeting only. It's because they're seeking out information. Well, how is your video incorporating that? Are we answering questions for potential consumers? Are we really allowing them to get a better understanding of a particular business? And does it fit in with the platform and the conversations that would be going on there? So that video has the potential to look and feel very different. And then you go into TV. So whether we're talking about OTT or connected TV, video is going to look very different. So as somebody is watching long form advanced TV, so that would be a movie or a TV show or a documentary series, we're interrupting that time for them. So how did these videos potentially look different than a shorter clip you may use for pre-roll or an educational video that you may have on YouTube? So thinking through that and the emotion that you're trying to spur on as somebody is in a place where they have a big screen in front of them, what are we doing and what messaging are we putting out there? And then social ads. So we talked about a couple examples, and Jason gave us some great thoughts on the slide that we looked at previously for social. These ads are in a completely different format. So again, whether this is going to be in somebody's newsfeed on Facebook or you're leveraging this on Instagram, even think through the mass amount of escalation we've seen happening on TikTok since we've been in lockdown. Video has taken on different formats. And now if we're inserting our customers' messages there, we want to make sure that we're appealing to consumers while they're in that space, and you have them only for seconds to capture their attention before they scroll on to see the next meme or post that's in their news feed. And then of course you have in-banner ads. So thinking about these ads are going to be, it's hard to see, and you have to have a lot of frequency just when we're talking about regular display ads. So now if you take a display ad and you incorporate a video into it, you really want to think through, is this going to really engage somebody? What's that first message that they're seeing in order to get them to click? And are in-banner ads really the best option for them? It may be a less expensive way to incorporate video, but we've also seen at times when video is incorporated into banner ads, the engagement level just isn't as high because they're not watching the video automatically start playing oftentimes. Usually if an in-banner ad is hosted inside, a video is hosted inside a banner, they're oftentimes user initiated. Versus host initiated. So if a video is user initiated, it means you have to, as a reader or a visitor to a site, you have to click the play button for it to start. Well, that looks and feels very different, and it can create different engagement than if it's host initiated, where the video automatically starts playing when the page loads. So you also want to be familiar with what your options are, because as you get those developed, if something's a user initiated video, you have to think through, well, if somebody just sees a video play button, are they really going to engage with this? What space do I have within that banner to create other messaging that's going to really engage the consumer and make them want to click the play button? That can be very difficult. So you really want to think through if that's the right format for this type of advertising. And then after our last audience extension and ad network training, I got quite a few questions around OTT and connected TV. And I was asked to give a little bit further explanation on the difference between the two. And I think that this is a great time to talk about OTT as well, just because of the current environment that we're in. So if you think about us all being at work from home, it's definitely altering the way that we do things. It alters the way we do things in business and in media and in entertainment, but also our everyday lives and the type of impact that that has. So if you think through, when we started going to a work from home model and communities started to shut down during COVID, there were a lot of entertainers and entertainment verticals that were having to decide, where do we go from here? How do we still capture the attention of individuals? So when you think about video and movies in particular, Disney took some really fast approaches to initially launch and create partnerships where instead of rolling out movies in theaters, they allowed pre-releases. So they partnered with companies like Amazon to allow videos and to allow movies to start showing in advance. In order to get entertainment up. So this may change how we live in the future. Are movie theaters going to be as predominant? Or will there be releases that happen at the same time online through streaming services at the same time as theaters? We don't know where this is going yet, but this was a huge change for the entertainment industry that was forced due to our work from home model and for people being shut down right now in communities. But others were having to change their models. So whether it was concerts going online or conferences that had to go online, or even Tokyo Fashion Week, industry was having to make some fast changes and figure out, where are we going to go from here? And what's going to be very interesting is for us as a society to watch, how will video impacts continue to move forward? We will obviously probably pull back in some areas once communities are back open and running at full speed. We'll still be going to concerts in person. We will still be going to conferences. But this also was forcing certain businesses to have the option for people to not appear in person. And it'll be interesting for us to watch how this trend keeps up moving into the future. And then that takes us into streaming TV. So what we're going to talk about and what we've talked about is technology and the impact that that has had. And streaming TV is no different. So Disney showed us that 21% of consumers that signed up for a streaming service this year say that coronavirus was what helped make their decision. So we've talked about cord cutters in the past, and we've talked about individuals who had multiple streaming services and options or subscriptions. And that number is going to continue to rise, and it was elevated and it escalated rather rapidly, and that was due to coronavirus. So again, as you're thinking through your campaigns that you're launching in marketing, it's going to be really important to think about how are you incorporating TV and how are you utilizing the different tactics and options that we have when it comes to video. Another trend that we saw increasing related to streaming is search. So people are trying to figure out, what do we watch, or what do I watch next? Oftentimes people are thinking, I've completely exhausted all of my Netflix options. Or maybe Netflix thinks they've shown me too much already of who I am, so I'm going to set up another user on my profile to try to reset it. These are common behaviors that we're seeing right now. And it'll be interesting to continue to watch these trends. But I would also encourage you, as you're thinking through where you're going to deliver ads, and as you're thinking through connected TV, also look at your search trends. What are people looking at right now? Are they trying to find series? Are they trying to find movies? Are there specific channels? Are they trying to watch sports? So live sports, as different teams start to play and they can't necessarily attend a venue. So there are going to be a lot of different options, and search is going to help us understand and drive where these different placements go. These are some other interesting statistics that you will see here. You can see that a lot of search terms have changed, and these are some of the growth measures that we saw just in the first 3 months of this year. So you can see that free movie websites and movie streaming services, or watching movies online, are extremely high, but also best TV series to watch. So maybe people didn't have time previously to really sit down and dedicate themselves to a TV series. Well, now they do. We have more time on our hands. You don't necessarily have commutes back and forth to work, or kids aren't in sports or after school activities the way that they used to be. So you may be looking, our consumers may be looking for more things to watch online. So again, looking at those trends and understanding what's happening is going to be really important. And then our TV solution. So this is where we got some additional questions, which is why I'm diving into OTT and CTV a little bit more. So when you think about advanced TV, this is really where you think about cord cutters. So this is where we are trying to watch longer form content. So whether it's a sporting event, a movie, TV episodes or series, or documentaries, that is your advanced TV. And then we deliver that in 2 different ways. One is over the top. So this is where you think big screens. This is a TV, and it's either a smart TV or it has a streaming box connected to it, such as a Roku device. Or maybe it has a gaming console connected to it, like an Xbox or a PlayStation, in order to deliver their streaming services. So that is your OTT. Connected TV are your small screens. So this will be a mobile, a tablet, or a computer. And oftentimes the content for video is being accessed directly through an application, or they are opening up a web browser and they're looking for something to watch on a web browser, such as maybe Netflix or on demand. So if you have maybe an on-demand service, you might be going through your web browser. So those are the differences between the products. And when you also think about connected TV and OTT, I love the fact that we talk about how the story is interrupted. So when you think of OTT on your big form, those are non-skippable ads. People can't interrupt them. They also appear on an engaged audience that is active. So what do we mean by that? It means the TV has to be on. So we deliver these videos just like we deliver digital impressions. We can't deliver a digital impression unless somebody loads a website. They have to be an active user. Well, connected TV and OTT work the same way. So whereas you may have an advertiser who is running TV commercials through broadcast or their cable provider, well, they're purchasing spots. They're basically saying, I want spots during certain times of day. you're not necessarily guaranteed a certain number, nor are you guaranteed that that user is there in front of an active TV. This is one of the benefits of selling OTT and connected TV, is allowing your base of clients to have ads that aren't necessarily skipped, the same way that they might be if we're talking about a pre-roll ad or a YouTube ad. And then they also have that engaged audience where we know that the TVs are active. So you get the opportunity to bring together a TV commercial or a video along with the great targeting capabilities that you already have in digital to be able to deliver that to specific audiences. So it looks very different than if you were running these TV ads just for certain shows. We don't necessarily operate that way. We're following a user. We're delivering ads to specific households. We're not necessarily saying, I want to deliver based on a specific show that they're watching. And that allows you to be much more strategic with your campaigns and not as boxed in as you would be if you were running a campaign through broadcast or a cable provider. So you have multiple types of targeting. So location targeting. This would be zip code, right? So you could have zip code targeting, county targeting, state. You can do large regions or the United States. So anything that's location based. And this was our most common form. Then we rolled out addressable targeting. So as you think about addressable geofencing, we can deliver connected TV and OTT to those very same addresses. So picking a specific set of households to deliver addresses to is a great approach. The difference with that versus maybe TV is you don't have large zones. So you don't necessarily have wasted spend in areas that you may not want to be reaching versus areas that you do want to reach. So think about political season that's coming up. As political season is here, people have certain areas that they want to deliver messages to, particularly when we're talking about local politics. So you're not going to want to cover at times multiple zip codes or a large zone. So you can be much more strategic with your political partners when you go down to an addressable level or even zip code targeting. And it'll allow them to concentrate more on the areas that they want and less on the areas that they don't want. And then again, you have demographic and behavioral targeting. So you can do a lot of different combinations of these. Your different forms of targeting are available. So you can see a spreadsheet of those, and we have them hosted on the hub as well. And then just to give you an idea of inventory and how much is out there. So we have a very broad spectrum. We deliver this the same way we would ad network, right? So you have multiple devices that we are able to target. So whether we're talking about a streaming device that we put on a TV or an actual smart TV, or even certain gaming devices, we have the ability to device target. We also have multiple exchanges and publishers that we're tied to. So having access to hundreds of the top publishers allows us not only premium content, but it allows us a great amount of inventory that we can tap into with a lot of behavioral characteristics to be able to target on a really robust level. And then you get some great reporting along with OTT. So again, you can get device level reporting, publisher reporting. So what publishers did we actually deliver to? You get to see your completion rates. So again, we talked about non-skippable on large screen versus your connected TV, which does allow skips. So we can see what was the completion rate. Did somebody exit the video? So maybe they changed the channel or they turned the TV off. What's the mute rate? So did somebody turn the sound down? Maybe that's a moment where they weren't paying attention. They decided to pick up their phone and call someone. And what's the pause rate? And then we also have postal code reporting that's available. And then I just wanted to remind everyone that we did improve our reporting recently, particularly pertaining to some of our display and video metrics. So you can see those in Client Center. Moving forward, that will be for all advertisers. If you have advertisers that are running right now, your CSM can go in and help get this implemented. But you'll see at the bottom that video reporting in Client Center will now include how much of the video, what percentage finished at 25%, how many consumers finished at 50%, 75%, or 100% completions. What's the completion rate? Did anybody expand the video to go full screen? And then again, your mute, unmute, pause, and resume. All of those metrics are going to be housed in Client Center. And then if you have advanced metrics that you're looking for, you would work with your CSM to incorporate those into your reporting. And that is it today for our video training. So I'm going to open it up now. Kimber, did we have any questions that came through?
Not that I am seeing. I got kicked out at one point, I had to come back in. So if something came in during that
That's okay.
2-minute time frame in which I got kicked out, but nothing in the chat at the moment.
Okay. So if no one has any questions, we're gonna conclude. This was a short training today, 30-minute on some of the features and benefits of video. If you have any questions, please reach out. Otherwise, we're gonna send out this deck. We'll send out the recording, and then you will also have all of your resources under targeted display on the hub, where you can find all the facts that we talked about today. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Michaela.
Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Michaela.
Bye.